It's time for In Bed with Jed.
Hey everyone! Hey! It's a little high, but it'll do. So, the 80s friggin' rocked, didn't they? Yeah! I wouldn't know personally because I wasn't born. I wasn't born, okay? But I happen to love this particular song. It's by one of my favorite artists, Dolly Parton. You like Dolly? Yeah! Rewriting from me. So how about let's all get up and get clapping for a little 9, not 5. Let's hit it.
I want 9, not 5.
Come on now, let's go. My whole kitchen, I just had a nice good dick and my hole's been stretched. Now it's open wide. Let the blood flow pumping before I go back for another butt bucking and hoes like me, like a dick size 9, not 5. Dick size 9, not 5. Wanna try to make it fit and barely stuffed inside. It's all taken and no giving. Fuck me blind. Most men can't seem to hit it, so I spend my life always looking for some big dick. 9, not 5. I want service, not devotion. You would think that I would deserve to feel the motion. Giving head. I want it pressing on my throat's back. It's enough to make me permanently go black. Now most men, they lie, they say they got a really big thing, until you get home and you find it's either small or thin, and all your hopes for an orgasm go floating away. Am I right, ladies? Men compare size with all their friends, hoping they got the big one that wins. But the average dick size makes me wonder why I even bother being gay. Dick size 9, not 5. I want to try to make it fit in, barely stuffed inside. It's all taken and no giving. Can you fuck me blind? Most men can't seem to hit it, so I spend my life always looking for some big dick. 9, not 5. I want service, not devotion. You would think that I would deserve to feel emotion. When I'm giving head, I want it pressing on my throat's back. It's enough to make me permanently go black. Yeah, 9, not 5. At least want to try to make it fit in. Barely stuff it inside. Oh, please, it's take it, not give it. It's a harlot's game, no matter what they call it. And I only take small dicks if you got a real big wallet. Yeah, man. 9, not 5, y'all. 1980. Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to In Bed with Jed. I'm Jed Ryan, and as you can see, I only have Paddington the Bear to protect my modesty and to keep me from getting thrown off of YouTube, because God knows I've been thrown out of many other places in the past. And something our guest should be able to relate to shortly. But let's tease you a little bit. Let's introduce her very, very, very slowly. Again, on this show, we like to have everybody wear what they would normally wear to bed. So I am completely naked except for this bear to protect my modesty. Don't judge. You could wear whatever you want to on my show, whatever you would normally wear to bed, whether that be a frilly nightgown or some fuzzy pajamas or whatever you were wearing from the night before. Maybe you didn't have a chance to change out of your elegant evening gown and jewelry. Pajamas with the feet or nothing at all. I am so excited today. Does it show? I can't tell. Because today I am with one of my favorite all-time performers in a city like New York, where you have millions and millions of talented people, performers of all varieties. It is very rare when you come up with a complete original, and we have one with us today. This performer is a drag star, a comedian, a screenwriter, director, producer, and an award-winning author. She writes for such popular news sites and online magazines such as HuffPost and The Advocate, and has her own celebrity interview column, and my favorite of all, a multiple award-winning trashy, because we love trash on In Bed With Jed, trashy cookbook called the Harlot's Guide to Classy Cocktails, where you could find such great recipes for drinks like the hung top. And what's a hung top without a bottom? Another drink is called the bottoms up, and the pink panty dropper. I like that one. And all of a sudden, this coffee that I'm drinking with my In Bed With Jed mug. Yes, we love product placement. Yeah, there's some Uber Lube there too. Just saying, we love our sponsors. All of a sudden, that seems kind of dull. So please welcome, and folks, trust me, what I just described is just the beginning, because this lady has a lot more under that really high fruit punch colored wig, Sorry, Jeza, unless that's your real hair. Again, no judgments. But please welcome to In Bed With Jed. Please welcome Jeza Belle. Yeah.
Hey, hi everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Here. Thank you for joining me in bed on a Sunday morning.
My pleasure, but I have to apologize right up front, Jed. I am so sorry. I know you said that I should come like in what I sleep in, but I planned to put something presentable on. However, I woke up really late, so I really had just my regular plain pajamas on and not something, glamorous. So you just got this rag and these crappy jewels. Sorry.
Well, it kind of reminded me of Vera Charles in Mame. Somebody's been sleeping in my dress,
Oh,
Jeza, how are you today?
I am doing fabulous, and now that you mentioned it, I could go for a pink panty dropper myself.
Woo! Well, my pink panties were dropped a while ago, but that's another show. Wow. Jeza, it is hard to believe that we have known each other. It's going to be like 2 years. July 2021. It'll be 2 years that we have first known each other, because we first met on at your show at New York City's Duplex. I remember it being hot that night. Not just outside, but on the stage. Your show was called Hee-WHORE, right?
Yes. Woo! Yeehaw! Hee-WHORE.
Wow. So. And I got a little sneak preview. You told me about what you're up to. I was just like, whoa, it's a lot. It makes me feel so lazy when I hear about everything you're doing. You're a multitasking queen there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on? But first, I have to ask first, because I find this amazing. You're releasing a book, and this is a weight loss book, right?
Yes. Well, before I say any of that, I do just want to say you look delicious, absolutely delectable, and I just have to put that out there. Sorry, but it must be said. So yes, I am working on my second book that will hopefully come out later this year. It is planned to come out later this year. My first book was The Harlot's Guide to Classy Cocktails, which, as you mentioned, features many trashy cocktails and wonderful stories from drag queens around the world. And this next book actually is inspired by the weight loss journey that I am on. And it will be the second Harlot's Guide, The Harlot's Guide to Weight Loss. And it will give a number of tips that I'm using to lose some weight without making myself absolutely shit crazy like most weight loss plans do. So there you have it. You're the first to know about it. We are breaking the news right here with you that I am doing a book on weight loss.
You heard it here first, folks. Yes. All you guys, gals, and non-binary pals, you heard it here first. And Jeza, I have to ask, without giving too much away, because you should all buy that book, and as soon as you can, put it on your wish list. But without giving too much away, how did you manage to lose weight and get on the pathway to health when so many of us are gaining weight during the pandemic? And they joke around the pandemic 10. A lot of us are ordering too much takeout, drinking too much, not getting to the gym because it was closed for a while. How did you manage to do that in this day and age?
Sure. Well, actually, I also did the same for the first few months of the pandemic. I ate everything in sight. And about several months into it, I decided instead of eating like it's the end of the world, which I literally was, that it was time to turn things on its head and look at this as an opportunity. And so I kind of took a moment to kind of reevaluate how I was doing things. And one thing as a big person, and this really is a book for big people, who have difficulty losing weight following everybody else's mashugana and crazy programs that they give you. You've heard everything under the sun, from cabbage soup to grapefruits to, work out 20 million, hours a day. So I wanted to find something that worked for me, that did not make me insane. And so the first thing I did was say to myself, I will not follow anybody else's program. And if it feels like I'm going to go nuts from any one of the things that I'm going to do, then I won't do it. And so that has proven to be a great success idea for me. Once I kind of crossed that threshold and said, throw out everybody else's, limits that they put on you, because those have always failed me in dieting. I've gone up and down 1,000 times, up mainly. Then, I've kind of felt free, and that's helped me lose a whole bunch of weight. And I thought, you know what, this would be a great time right now to share it with everybody, since, as you mentioned, everybody's going through this weight gain from the pandemic. So I'm going to get it out right as the pandemic is hopefully coming to a close. Please, gods and God and lords and everything above,
yes.
hear us. Yes, but I'm hoping that this will be something that helps others who have struggled to lose weight, lose it in a way that they won't go crazy as well.
More crazy than we already are, right?
Absolutely. And, weight loss is not an easy thing for anybody, and if you're somebody who is like me, I love to eat. And I didn't want to lose that. And so I still eat. I just don't make myself as crazy as I used to. So not dieting has actually helped me to diet. Wow.
Well, congratulations for that. And
excuse me, thank you so much.
Personally, I think that grapefruit, the only way a grapefruit should be enjoyed is if it's squeezed into a glass of vodka on the rocks, so.
Exactly.
I agree. I totally agree.
That's true for almost anything. I mean, you can make almost anything palatable with some vodka, can't you?
No doubt, no doubt. Yes. I personally, I think that diets are a lot of BS, because that's the problem. When we deprive ourselves, that just makes us want it more. You have to kind of, it's not easy by any means, but you just have to kind of find a way to recognize your problem foods and be like, okay, it's kind of like a bad roommate, or sometimes when your spouse drives you crazy, you just have to learn to deal with it and learn how to make it work in your favor,
Yes, and that's really where I started. And so in this book, I'm going to give you 6 tips that I'm doing, 6 things that I'm following. And again, none of them are hard. And then interspersed throughout the book will be really kind of hilarious stories of things that happened to me as an overweight person, and everything from people coming at me for sex because specifically I was over. The more weight I gained, the more action people wanted, oddly enough, to just some life affirming and life changing moments as an obese person. I've been skinny, I've been fat, and let me tell you, you can have a variety of fun and great experiences at all sizes. The most important thing, though, is to be at a place where you feel healthy and happy. And that's really the key to everything. So again, so far I've lost close to 55 pounds.
Whoa.
And I do have more to go. I joke to myself, because I do have a self-deprecating humor. I can laugh at myself. So I say to people, well, I'm still fat as a house. It's just before I was a mansion. Now I'm moving more towards like a ranch. you know, and so and so you know, I hope to lose some more over time, but I'm much healthier than I was before, and I feel better, and that's really the key, and that's what I hope to share with people so that they can do that too.
Wow. Well, again, congratulations for that. And I have to think back now. One of your songs, in fact, was "I'm a Fat Kind of Girl," which was a
Yes.
parody of I guess I'm that kind of girl. I don't
Yep.
even. I sort of vaguely remember the original, but once I heard your version of it, who cares about that one? So, like songs like that, are you going to still incorporate them into your repertoire after this, or?
Absolutely, because I am not going to suddenly be a twig. It's just not happening. That ship has sailed. By the way, that is a Patti Loveless song. I love Patti Loveless, and you may know, because my show is Hee-WHORE, others may not, that I am obsessed with classic country music, because I find a lot of the artists and a lot of the songs to be so campy, they're just hysterical. And so sometimes I change them up. Of course, yes, as you know, I've done 9 to 5, 9 not 5, you know, about dick size, but some of them I don't have to change at all. I love Loretta Lynn. Her songs are just, sometimes they're just so friggin' hilarious that I just have to do them straight. Like Fist City is a Loretta Lynn song, you know? And so, yes.
Wow. Well, yes, I remember you're a big fan of country music. I would have worn my cowboy hat. I could get up to go get it, but again, you know, for all the kiddies that are all the juvanos that are watching, you know, we just can't do that. So
We like that. I think they like that.
no doubt, but I'm sure they would. Now, there's also a screenplay. It's not Deep Inside Jezebel Part 4, right? We're working on a screenplay, right?
Yes, actually, I've been doing a lot of screenwriting for the past couple of years, and I've had quite a large amount of success with those, which is great. So, you know, I've produced a bunch of stuff on my own and directed stuff. I had a web series, which really kind of started me out about 10 years ago in drag, called Jeza and the Bells. It was about drag queen superheroes. This is stretching back now over a decade. And that's really how I got launched into doing drag to begin with, because I wrote this little web series and I had no intention of playing the main role. But although I casted two wonderful drag queens in the other roles for the sisters, I couldn't find the right person to play Jezebel. And so I decided at the last minute that I would be Jezebel in this web series. And then from there, it just kind of took off. And so I've kind of gone back to those writing roots over the past year or two. And I've written a bunch of screenplays, and I am very proud to say that one of my screenplays recently placed in what is arguably the most difficult screenplay competition in the world, which is the Nichols Fellowship, run by the Academy of the actual Academy. So it's the Oscars, and I placed really high, and I was very, very proud of that because it's one of the toughest competitions in the world. And so I had to give myself a little pat on the back for that because I done good.
That's the Oscars, bitches. Yes.
Yes.
Woo.
Yes, yes. And yeah, so I've been doing a lot of screenwriting. That one, particular one, hopefully I'd like to see it get made soon. It's called Blood Rouge. And although you would think it would be about something very campy, it really is about a gender fluid young man in the 1930s and 40s in Nazi Germany, and how he has to face bullies in both his childhood and at a concentration camp when he gets there. And so maybe not as light as my stage performances, but something that I really felt compelled to write, and I'm very proud of it. And I've been doing a lot of work like that. I wrote a short a short film that I'm hoping to direct very soon with one of my friends called Shut the Fuck Up. And that is a little bit lighter than Blood Rouge, to say the least. But yes, I've really been enjoying writing is a great outlet for me. So I've done all kinds of writing, from screenplays to the book to writing for various publications. And it's a great way to, you know, release your voice. One way.
Yes, yes. Shows that you're more than just a pretty face. you got things to say. Yes.
I knew I loved you. If you call this a pretty face, that's why we'll be friends forever.
Yes, we certainly will be. And you know, but just don't get too small there. We don't want to lose that girlish figure of yours there, you know.
Absolutely.
Men like something to grab onto.
And I know it, absolutely. And that's why I do joke, because you'll read one of the stories in the book that about a sexual experience of somebody who was hot and heavy after me, the fatter I got. So it is definitely true. And like I said, this is really a book for people to lose some weight. That's the book that I'm working on, but not necessarily to, I'll never be a twig again. Those, like I said, those days are long gone. And I don't want to be. I just want to feel good. Got to keep this girlish, shapely figure.
Yes, you sure do. Yeah, so PSA for all of you, throw away that old Valentine's Day candy, really, it's,
You can still eat it. A little now and then is good for the soul.
Oh,
You don't
yes,
have
but
to
there's other
eliminate
great gifts to
everything.
give, like Uberlube, but whoa, sorry, it's a little slippery, it dropped and all that stuff. There's better gifts to give, okay.
That's a testament. That's a testament to how good Uberlube is. It just slipped right out of your hand.
Yes, yes. Well, also, works great for your hair too. It's either that or Gorilla Glue, and hey, listen,
Yes.
that chick has an agent now. I can't even find one. So what does that tell you? But that's showbiz for you.
Yes, for real. It's insane. Anybody could be famous today. Stub a
It only
toe on
looks glamorous,
TV.
folks. Really, it took me a long time to plan this outfit. And I'm sure for our drag gals, it's like whoop. No one should have to get up that early on a Sunday morning. So we thank you again for that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Now, speaking of drag, I have to know because I watched this documentary. It's only being shown in film festivals, but it was called Workhorse Queen, and it was about Mrs. Kasha Davis, who was on season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And this was after trying very hard to get on there. And so she talks about her life before, during, and then after the show, after her run. And she talks not only about her own life, but the movie also talks about how RuPaul's Drag Race has changed the whole face of drag, because you and I were around long, me much longer than you, but we were around long before RuPaul's Drag Race. And so we've seen it. And again, when we first met, you were introduced to me as one of the most original performers in New York City, which is I found out to be true.
That is so sweet.
Oh well,
I paid them a lot of money.
Well, we won't say any names who this person is, but I thank him for introducing us. And so a lot of queens, that's the question. Like, I'm sure like somebody who never met you before was like, oh, are you going to audition for RuPaul's Drag Race? And how do you feel about that show in general? Like, how do you feel that does it change like the dynamic about you and your peers, what you've seen with some of the other girls, or like, did you ever think about it yourself there at least once? Or
Sure, that is an absolutely wonderful question. First of all, I have nothing but enormous respect for RuPaul, because yeah, she has pretty much changed the world. And I don't think anybody can take that credit away from the work that RuPaul has done. In terms of myself, when the show first aired way back at the beginning, I think maybe the second season I had sent in an application. But when I tell you, first of all, I looked like Who Did It and Ran. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I wouldn't have casted me with a paper bag on, But after that, I never thought about it again. And the reason is that, and I'm friends with so many people who've been on the show and have wonderful careers. They're all incredibly talented and unique in their own way. So I have nothing against it. I think it's a wonderful show. For me personally, though, I just kind of marched to my own beat. And that's really kind of been who I am my whole life. And so at this point in time, it's not that I have anything against it. I just don't see myself going on a show personally to be judged, because I'm just not at that place in my life anymore. I'll judge others maybe, but you know what I mean? Well, I'm not really like a harsh judge to others. I think there's a lane for everybody. There's a place for everybody. Do your thing, be you. And for me, I want to be me and do my stuff and not necessarily do somebody else's. Although I give them enormous praise and applause for the people who are probably a lot braver than I am to go on and do it. Plus, Mama's too old. I'm too old. Are you kidding me at this point? Please, I'll eat everybody for a snack by the time I get on there. You know. So,
Well, we've never discussed how old you are. So and I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna reveal it on the show and everything. But you
but
know,
21. You know, when you've had this many 21s, you know, you look back and you have to make choices on what's right for you. And so I think the show is fabulous. I think the people are amazing. But really, I'm just focused on doing the things that I want to work on, and create the things that I want to make. And that just isn't at this point one of them for me personally.
yes, yes, wow. And what is that? What has that been like? You know, as a performer, not being able to do the. I know you've jumped on the virtual bandwagon too, like so many other performers and everything. But are there any wheels grinding about when you might be able to get back and perform live again?
Oh, I think if anybody tells you that they have an answer right now, you know, at least in New York City, that you know they're smoking something that I wish I was smoking, you know, because it's so hard to know. Because the minute we think we know something, we don't again. So you have to find other ways to release your creative juices. And you know, there's a variety of things out there. You find the things that work for you, and one day we will all be back on stage. And I hope to take Hee-WHORE on the road, both here and abroad, because I do have a lot of, thankfully and very blessedly, I have a lot of fans and followers internationally as well as here. So I'm very thankful for that. And I hope to get out and get to some other places abroad and get to some stages over there. I've been invited numerous times, but there's always been so many things happening. So hopefully, I don't know. I would like to think that, but maybe by the end of the summer, life will start to come back to normal, and then we can plan that. But I'd be lying if I told you I knew.
Yes, that is the great thing about performing virtually. Anybody in the world can see you. You know, because I do look at my my statistics for like my blog and for the channel and everything, and you can actually see like where you know, where the people are viewing from and everything. And I had no idea I had a fan club in what's that tiny country, you know, with 3 people in it? I forget, you know, Liechtenstein. I don't know, but yeah, apparently I'm big in tiny countries, you know, countries with poor. Countries with like very few entertainment sources, so all of a sudden my status is elevated and everything like that. But we're grateful for all the fans. Yeah, we are.
They don't get that. They don't get, you know, they don't get to see somebody as wonderful as you all the time. So it's a breath of fresh air. No, for real. I mean, they don't get that. So hey, I think it's wonderful that we can reach out and touch people in these far places, because you never know whose life you really touch. I mean, to take it to a serious note, you know, I mean, I've gotten, you know, messages and mails and emails from people in the furthest reaches of the world. And something like this touches their life in a way that you can't even imagine. And it's humbling. And so in Liechtenstein, you don't know whose life you have really touched. I applaud you for doing this show. You keep doing it.
I'm humbled, you know. Once they learn to speak English, then they actually may even laugh at my jokes, but who knows?
I don't know. When they speak English, they'll see this episode with me and disconnect if they do.
Oh, please, you know, you'll get like a million new fans, and I may get 3, but and you're now also you teach a class too, right? And was it about LGBTQ plus representation in the media? Was it one specific part of the media in cinema or film or TV or?
Sure. Yes, actually, I have been asked to teach a class at an upcoming film festival in Europe. It's called La Hospitale de Llobregat. Hope I said that correct. In Barcelona, Spain. It's going to be in the fall. It had to be rescheduled because of COVID, obviously. And so now it's on for the fall of 2021. It is going to be a huge and amazing film festival in Europe, in Barcelona. And they reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to do a class there, a master class of sorts, speaking about the importance of the LGBTQ characters in film and TV and why it's so important to have these characters well represented. And so I'm so humbled and thrilled to be asked to do that, very excited. And then on top of that, my role seems to keep growing. Then they asked if I would present the award for the best LGBTQ film. And I said, absolutely, at their award ceremony. And then I got the wonderful honor when they said, we really would love it if you would judge the films themselves. And so now I am watching all of these amazing films from all over the world, these shorts and features, and specifically in the LGBTQ theme, and I'm one of the judges. And I have to tell you, what a wonderful day and time we live in to see that we can be represented in ways that we couldn't even 10 years ago. Far to go still, but it's nice to see a lot of change happening.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny because I remember, like, I'm sure are you a cinemaphile? You love movies too?
Absolutely, absolutely. I write them.
Cool. Well, because so am I, and it used to be a time when, like, you had to go in New York City, you had to go to the Angelica Film Center or the Cinema Village or the IFC to, this might have been before the IFC, to go actually see LGBTQ movies, because they
Exactly.
would not play in the mainstream. And,
Yeah.
if one of them came out on video cassette, you didn't know if the big chains, Blockbuster would carry it. You just couldn't they weren't really available, if you wanted to see them. And now there's been an explosion, and I don't use that word as a hyperbole, I mean it. There's been an explosion of LGBTQ interest cinema, and it's a great time to be living in for that, to see so many voices.
Exactly, and that's why I was so thrilled when they asked me to do it, because I thought, we are right on the cusp. I think we have started to make a lot of progress. There's still a lot of progress to be made, but I feel like we're right on the cusp. And what an exciting time to teach a class at such a fabulous film festival. I mean, my gosh, I'm going to Barcelona to present, and there's going to be these big movie stars, and we're going to be presenting these awards together, and it's just going to be a real blast. And I'm very honored and so thankful to be included in that. Wow.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do, actually. I speak a very passable Spanish. Yes. I can get us into and out of probably almost every situation. And I probably speak more South American slang than anything, but I do speak Spanish.
Wow. Because one of the movies that I saw was called, it's called The Strong Ones. In Spanish, the title was Les Fuertos, or Les Fuertos, which means it's translated as The Fort. And can I just say, I saw this movie, and I was blown away, not just by the two leads and some very, very explicit sex scenes in there, but also the scenery was just phenomenal. The scenery of Chile, where the movie takes place. And I'm just like, hello, where's my passport? Let's take a vacation to Chile, because it was just so beautiful, absolutely breathtaking and everything, the scenery in there. And again, the two guys, I have no idea what their names were, but whoa, I didn't need to know their names of the two actors. So
by scenery, you mean men?
Both, yes.
I'm with you.
Yes. Yeah, you can smell, I mean, the scenery was amazing, the cinematography, you could smell the sweat and the cervezas, and again, the sex was, it was what all good sex scenes should be. It was very sensual and very hot, but it didn't have to be completely explicit, left just enough to the imagination where it was really, really hot. So
I love a good cinematographer, a good storyteller, a good writer. Nothing like it. They really have the power to influence things, and that's why it's such an exciting medium. I mean,
Wow. Yeah. So, what? Anything else you want to tell our masses, all of our fans, all of your fans, all of my three fans? Anything you want to tell them?
I think I would say that right now is the time to start looking at the positives, because although we've gone through some tough times really around the world, we've gone through hard times, but especially here in the United States. We talked earlier about how you could get through anything with vodka. And pretty much the past 4 years, I've gotten through a lot with vodka, with a lot of vodka. But things are turning, and hopefully, COVID will be becoming under control. In this country, we have dumped who we needed to dump. And
two guesses won't be necessary, people.
Yes, and exactly. And brighter days are here. And I, for one, am just so excited about what's to come in the future. And I think we all should be. Let's just pump it up. We've had a lot of depression, a lot of dark times. It is time to start looking towards we're about to party, and it is going to be lit, and it is going to be on the second all this crap is over. And I think we're nearing that. So I really just would want to share a message of positivity and hope. We are almost there. Stay the course. We are going to just explode, I think, very soon.
Yes, yes, and again, we just have to remain hopeful. People thought that. No, I have to ask you because this is one little tidbit about your life which I don't know. Now, did you live in New York your whole life, or did you come here? Are you a transplant?
Sure, I actually grew up in Long Island. I'm from Long Island originally, and I moved to Arkansas, of all places, for college, where I attended a private Christian. See, I'm choking right now. Just from those words. I attended a private Christian university where I stayed for a long time, got a bachelor's and a master's. So I'm one of those educated, whatever, queens. And I actually was studying to, believe it or not, be a minister. So I have a lot of background in Bible, which is something people are usually shocked by. And eventually I come back to New York, and rather than become a minister, I became what would be the next equivalent, obviously a drag queen. I mean, it's the next step. Progression makes sense, doesn't it? And so I've been back in New York for a hot minute.
This is starting to sound like a screenplay. I always said, when they're casting for the biopic about Jezebel, Kathy Griffin, sorry, you thought you had a chance, but only Jezebel can play Jezebel. And I did not know that. We love Arkansas. My best friend lives there. So great,
Yes. They probably know the school. Yeah, life is funny like that. It turns on a dime, and I don't take back any experience I've ever had because it makes you who you are. And the wider your breadth of experience, the better I think that life is for you, because you're able to handle all kinds of people. And I can relate to people from the most thumping Bible thumper in the world, in the most conservative place, to the wildest liberal in the world, and I'm really at home with both of them, and so that's what I would say is a blessing.
Kind of reminds me of one of your icons, Dolly Parton. She has fans of
Yes.
all persuasions, all religions, all
Yes.
economic statuses, all races, all ages. Wow. So,
Well, she is the religion, pretty much. She is our religion. Right? I mean, when you talk about the goddess, that is the goddess, right? Can't get any higher of a power than Dolly Parton.
Yes, and I would love to see her in the audience when you're singing 9, not 5.
Me too, but I think she probably would like it because she always has a great sense of humor, and she is one of the most kind people to drag queens, always has been, going on for decades, at a time when people in a conservative country music would not be. She loved drag queens and always did, and was always welcoming and affirming to all people. So yay for Dolly. Yes, if somebody doesn't like Dolly, we need to knock them over. Something's wrong with them.
Yes, exactly. Wow. Well, Jezebel, where can we find you? We know we can find you on Facebook, and what about Instagram, Twitter, and any other places we can find you? Or?
Please do. Please find me on my website at iamjezebel.com, and on Twitter, I think I'm also I am Jezebel. Wouldn't it be nice if I actually knew my Instagram name, since that's probably the thing I use the most. But this is what happens, when you're a blonde-ish, red-ish, airhead. So, but so yes, but please do find me on both. If you go to my webpage, it does have the link to Instagram. You can also find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. I'm everywhere.
Woo.
Everywhere you don't want to see, I will be there. Look out your window.
You're omnipresent. Well, we could do without OnlyFans, but
you never know.
That might be too much Jezebel, more than I can handle,
A girl's got to eat, A girl's got to eat.
Wow. Wow. Well, it's funny. I'm only on Instagram for the asses. So, but
well, you might see mine.
Woo, well, we are entering the NC-17 rated portion of the show.
Right. Speaking of vodka, let me get it. You might see it now.
Well, hey, listen. We have all. I have time, but I know you have a three-way. I mean, a show with Ike Avelli and Tim Moss. Two of our favorites. How much do we love Ike Avelli and Tim Moss? Are you watching? You better be. If not, oh well. But
Yes.
and you have a full day. You're meeting them, and then there's something else, right?
Yes, yes, I am. I'm about to join a special class in Atlanta where I'm teaching a few cocktails and working with a celebrity chef for one of the biggest realtors in Atlanta, and looking forward to that. And so while it will not be the pink panty dropper, I will be doing one drink from the book, Ginger and Gin Time, and one new drink that I will be introducing in just a little while, one that gets you absolutely crocked, which is always the type of drink that I personally am a fan of.
Nice, nice. Well, Jeza, thank you so much for being on my show, and I can't wait to have you back when you're actually laying here next to me. This is a king-size bed, so there's room for everybody, the Paddington, you can even, if you behave yourself, you may even be able to stay, but can't wait to have you back. And wow, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Love you to death. Mwah. Big
Mwah.
kisses from me to you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yes, you too. Bye, darling.
Bye-bye.